This is a video of my client rocking his trousers. Let's get straight into the tutorial. So I have my fabric on fold that it would accommodate for my front piece. And then I'm going to be taking all my measurements from the bottom up. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coming up by 2 inches, and this will serve as hemming allowance for the bottom. So I'm just going to mark 2 inches all the way till the end, and I will connect this into a straight line. From here, I'm going to be taking my client's full length or trouser length, and for this it's 17 inches. So I'm marking 17 inches up the way as well. Please note I'm making this mark from the 2 inches that I came up by. And after making this marking, because this is an elastic trouser, I would need a casing for my elastic. So I'm creating a 2 inches elastic casing for this. And that's the 2 inches that I'm marking here. I will just connect all of these into a straight line and as well cut out only the fabric that I will be needing for this project. So it's the only piece of fabric on the working table. The next step is for me to get my crotch depth or the hip line, and I'm making the measurements from this point. So my client's hip measurement is 22 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches extra to make it 24 inches. 24 divided by 4 will give me 6 inches. But instead of marking 6 inches, I will mark 6.5 inches, and this is just because I want extra allowance for him as he's still a growing child. So I will mark 6 inches here and extend the line as well. So on the waistline, I'm also going to mark the same 6 inches because it's an elastic trouser. We can't use his actual waist measurement, and I will mark 6 inches as well on the hip line. After doing this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come out by 1.5 inches, just like as I'm doing, and this is to allow for the crotch extension. These measurements are not static. Use whatever figures work for your clients. To be able to get a nice curve, I'm just going to come out from this point with about maybe half an inch or 3/4 of an inch, and I will connect the curve. So you don't want your curve to be too deep, you just want it to be very normal. The next step to take is his ankle measurement on this 2 inches hemline. Okay, so I'm going to come in by 1 inch, just like this. And from this point is where I will take his ankle measurement. His ankle measurement is 9.5 inches. Half of that is 4/3. So I'm going to be marking 4/3 from here all the way. So I will connect from here to this point. From the hip line to his ankle, I will extend these hem lines. So our front piece is actually almost ready. Okay, but before I cut, I'm going to go to the hemline just like this and fold in this allowance here. It's very important that you do this so that you don't have any shortage of fabric at the bottom part. So I'm just going to proceed to cutting. After cutting, I'm just going to make a notch at the 2 inches waist casing. Moving on to our back pattern, this is a fabric I have for my back pants. I'm just going to place one piece of the front fabric onto the back fabric, and I'm going to be coming out by 2 inches here on the hip line side. So some people like to come out on the crotch line, but I prefer to come out to give my allowances at the hip side, okay, of my trousers. So I'm going to just mark 2 inches here, just like I'm doing, and I'll mark 2 inches here. I'll take it all the way. After making these markings from the top here, I'm going to extend my back piece by 1.5 inches. And I will connect, let me just extend this line here so it's visible. I will connect from this point to meet the 2 inches that I came out by in a slanted line. From here to this point. And then I'll proceed to cutting. I will cut exactly as it is on my cutting table. So here I have my front pieces, and I also have my back piece. So next step is to get the front piece, of course, right side facing right side. And I'm going to take this to my sewing table, and I will run a stitch from the top here all the way to the crotch line with 0.5. And I'm also going to do that for the back as well. Front piece facing right side, and now run a stitch down. After running the stitch, this is what the back piece looks like. And also this is what the front piece looks like after running the stitch. The next step is to sew both pieces of the trousers together, and in doing this you have to get your back piece, or I'm going to get my back piece and I'll lay this over the front piece. And what I'm trying to do is matching the seam line at the crotch area so that they are together, okay? And then I'll run a stitch. I'll run a stitch from the crotch line here all the way down, and I'll also run a stitch from here all the way down. I will also hold the sides as well, stitch the sides as well with 0.5 inch. I've stitched the sides here. I also stitched the inseam. As you can see, I folded the 2 inches hemming allowance. I'm either going to stitch this down or glue it down. For the waist area, as you can see, I folded in the 2 inches allowance I left for my elastic casing, and I give it a very good press. At the waistline, I'm just going to tuck in 0.5 inch, just like I'm doing, and I will run a stitch from this point all the way round, and then I will stop 1 inch away from the original point I started stitching, and this is just to allow for my elastic casing to pass through. Okay guys, so I actually held this down with the hemming glue. As you can see, it's giving a very neat finishing. I did that for both pieces, okay, and I've stitched down my casing just like I said I would, and I gave it a good press. It's looking very neat. And this is the 1 inch opening I made mention of. So right now we'll proceed to passing our elastic casing. Okay, my client's waist measurement is 19 inches. However, I'm going to be taking out about 5 or 4 inches away from it. Let's say 5 inches away from it. So I'll be left with 15 inches. So the length of the elastic I'll be working with is 15 inches. This is just me measuring and remeasuring for accuracy. So I think I ended up using 16 inches anyways, just to be on the safe side. And just so that it's not too tight. So I will get my safety pin and try to hold down one end of the elastic casing so that it can pass through the elastic band, sorry, so that I can pass through the casing I made. You also want to make sure that you secure the other end of the elastic band so that they don't both go into your casing at the same time. And after doing this, I'm going to run multiple stitches here so that it's held down firmly. And this is it, guys. This is what our pants looks like. Okay. So I closed up the 1 inch opening at the waist area so that nothing is visible, everything is well enclosed. I also weave the in and out seam. I'm going to flip this to the right side. On the right side, this is what it looks like. I gave it a very good press and it's looking super neat. Like, videos don't do justice to this pant trousers. And if you can see here, there are no stitch lines, and that's because I used an hem glue to hold down the allowance. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Till my next video. Bye.